Here's Nicole Wallace on MSNBC, and she wants to just, I guess, vent with all of her crazy-ass friends. Here you go, talking about Virginia, too close to call at this point.
I think we know the answer to some of this. I watched Glenn Youngkin's interviews on Fox News, and he did nothing that Claire's. He did not. I mean, he worshipped at the altar of Donald Trump on Fox News.
I love when they say shit like that. They worshipped at the altar of Donald Trump.
He flew an insurrection flag at his rallies. He simply didn't, he played dumb about a Zoom rally. He did not really put much distance between himself and Donald Trump on the big lie or the deadly insurrection in which police officers were maimed by flagpoles. So,
you know, that's funny how she calls it a deadly insurrection where police officers were maimed by a flagpole. This is right after she said the big lie, and then she delivers a big lie. Oh, let's keep going. And everybody, please, I know this sounds crazy, but it's not. Nicole Wallace is acting as a responsibly dispassionate journalist right now. Everything is fine. Just let her do her work. She's actually brilliant at her craft.
I think that the real ominous thing is that critical race theory, which isn't real, turned the suburbs 15 points to the Trump insurrection-endorsed Republican. What do Democrats do about that?
Yeah, what are they going to do? Yeah, what are they going to do about that? She's not asking. She's not asking this in she's not really inquisitive about what the direction of one party that got a shellacking during an election is going to be and how they're going to retool. There is no fault on the side of the Democrats. She is a fan, a sycophant, a member of the party, and she is pleading with people that she believes are, at least part of the intelligentsia, the brain trust of the party. What are you going to do to deal with this? This racism stuff, I mean, they're insurrectionists. First of all, what the fuck is an insurrection flag? What's the flag? What's an insurrection flag? I know that we have a Juneteenth flag all of a sudden. I know there's a Juneteenth flag. Every other month there is a new stripe added to the gay flag. But what's the insurrection flag? What the hell are you talking about? These are the same people who talk about how they have to hold back vomiting if they were to drive down the length of Long Island around Memorial Day weekend because there are too many American flags out and it's triggering to people who are, I don't know, liberal and hate the country. I don't even know what the hell she's talking about. She's obviously nuts. Well, I mean, if critical race theory isn't real, then I guess there's, then how are you gonna? I guess there's no way to ban it, then, right? Can't ban it. I don't understand what the hell's going on here, but neither does she, and neither does her listeners. But they just keep going on. Now, here's a little bit of where that 15-point swing, most of that 15-point swing went to candidates like Winsome Sears. Winsome Sears, who is now the lieutenant governor of Virginia. Everybody's playing the first games, first woman this, first black woman that, first black this, and there's a first Asian woman in Boston that's a mayor now. Everybody's first. Everybody's taking turns trying to one-up each other with first. That doesn't mean anything on this show. What is important here is that here's a woman that is a candidate who is supposed to be on the opposite side of gun rights and self-defense, who's supposed to be on the opposite side of trying to weed out all of this victimhood programming, nonsensical education in American schools, supposed to be on the opposite side of all that, but is actually walking in lockstep with proud Americans who want to see their country do well, regardless of where you came from, because we all want to go somewhere. All right? Nobody goes anywhere if we follow Nicole Wallace down into the slaughterhouse. And this is where this stuff is going. This is where it's going. But she has to talk about insurrection flags. Okay? Racist school curriculum. Victim culture being rejected by a real majority. That is the real story about where all these swings of voters are going. And the rest is economic. Like this. Jorge Bonilla put this out not too long ago, and it was from Telemundo. It's a clip from a man, I guess Dominican or Puerto Rican. I know that you have to get that very right, but I don't know. This clip is from Virginia, Jorge says, and it will become the subject of nightmares. Now, I'm going to read you the subtitles for those of you who are in podcast land. It's a 13-second clip as to why this Spanish-speaking man, who once again should not belong to anything considered a government skeptical, limited government, pro-individual liberty, conservative, classically liberal group. Okay? Nicole Wallace wants everybody to stay in their little box, in their little playpen, and don't move. And this is the reality because they don't want to listen to reality. They're talking about insurrection flags. Here you go. He says, I believe that Biden turned me into a Republican, he said. Let's go.
Yo creo que Biden me convirtió en republicano. Biden está destruyendo la economía.
Biden is destroying the economy. Inflation is through the roof.
Por los cielos, y
and everything is terrible.
Es terrible todo.
There you go. I'm sure there's more. I believe that Biden has turned me into a Republican. He's destroying the economy, inflation through the roof, and everything is terrible. What else do you want to say? What else do you want to say? Now, he's talking like a practical man, like a practical person. A Democrat would call him toxically masculine outlier who stands against or stands as a threat to all Latinx people. Completely out of touch. He's talking about real issues that affect real people, what people are actually thinking about, the stabilization of a currency, their ability to go out and work without any kind of interference from these fucking bloviating assholes in Washington, D.C. But if you threw that at Nicole Wallace, she would say that this is a toxically masculine outlier that cannot be taken as evidence of the whole. And how dare you stand in as such a threat to Latinx people? That's what they talk about. They take your name and they butcher it. Now, there's even more of that. Andrew Klavan, he put out, I mean, I love Andrew Klavan, as you all know. This guy, or this person, what the hell, who is this? Wajahat Ali. Works for the Daily Beast, so you know they're completely sane. Says whiteness remains undefeated. This was at about 9 p.m. last night. Whiteness remains undefeated. Let's wait and see who those white suburban voters went for tonight, Virginia. Any guesses? Well, we already showed you. Winsome Sears, people like her. And God forbid, white people too, white candidates too. That's it. Then what? It doesn't matter if they were all black conservative candidates. They would be black white supremacists then. You see how this works? Of course you do. You're very smart. And it's easy to figure out the mentality of a child. But Wajahat Ali, who obviously is very, very American and loves America, was responded to by Andrew Klavan. And Klavan, in the only way that he does respond, very eloquently and to the point, says this leftist idea that skin color is identity is already morally reprehensible. But the idea that you ain't black if you disagree with the left is disgusting. You can tweet pics of wiki hate right-wing outliers all you want. The central philosophy of the left is racist and wicked. And it's true. It's true. And it's wonderful. I love seeing Nicole Wallace say, this is ominous this, ominous that. Even if she's just pretending to feel disturbed, I like it. Sign me up for Nicole Wallace not feeling too good about things. Because what a harridan. What a complete harridan. I don't know. They were melting down last night. And, you know, and with good reason. Because just like what Andrew Klavan said, let's think about this for a second. Because no one wants them. It's as simple as that. No one wants them. There's no real way, obviously, and I know that this is going to come up in the calls tonight, and you're all warranted for thinking that way. There's no real way to really trust American elections, at this point especially, even when they seem to go your way. I don't know how you can completely trust it. In fact, if I were Glenn Youngkin and if I were a serious man, I would take this new majority he has in the state government of Virginia and audit the hell out of the state. Try to make some lasting change in the time that he has there. Now, is it going to be a workable majority, or is it going to be like what Chris Ann Hall was talking about in Florida, which I'm going to get. I see she texted me. I got to try to get her to call in the second half of the show after Rich Baris is off, because I'd love to hear about what happened today with that rally, that's the event down there in Florida. But getting back to this, aside from all of that, what is abundantly clear, once again, has been made abundantly clear, is that this leftist majority in the country is nothing but a media projection. Nothing. In fact, this is as close to Project Bluebeam as maybe we're going to get. But instead of a fake alien invasion, it's a fake progressive majority. That's all it is, because they absolutely have nothing. There's no charisma. There's no ideas. It's been that way for a long time. But they are bleeding so much legitimacy. I mean, all they had was these morticians in the media. You ever see Death Becomes Her? Death Becomes Her with Goldie Hawn and Meryl Streep and Bruce Willis. Well, the mainstream media is Bruce Willis, the mortician, trying to keep the appearances up of his two dead lovers, who took this serum that they can never die, but they're just rotting as they're walking around, and he has to spray paint them all around. And toward the end of the movie, they're completely can't be held together anymore. They're so rigid that they just collapse and just shatter like glass. That's exactly what's been going on for the last 10 years. Slowly, the media cannot put Humpty Dumpty back together anymore. They are a party that is devoid of charisma, no ideas, they have no manners, they have absolutely no sex appeal, and I want to be perfectly clear about that. Republicans aren't a sexy party either. I'm just saying. Democrats threw the kitchen sink at Virginia, a state that supposedly is purple to blue now. Barack Obama showed up, Kamala Harris showed up, nothing happened. Still, Terry McAuliffe, a longtime Clinton asset, mind you, lost to a virtual no-name candidate in a state that the 81 million vote man who had to show up at the last minute because nobody actually wanted him there, why? He won 81 million votes around the country, supposedly. And he won Virginia all by himself by 10 points. And nothing can help out Terry McAuliffe. Nothing. How does that make sense? These poor sick bastards, man. All any of them can manage to do right now is scream racism. It's so pathetic. To be accused of racism in the United States in 2021 has become as serious as a knock-knock joke. It's so pathetic. It really is. It truly is.